Okay, Business Communication Solution, Unit 5 Solution, Management and Cultural Diversity. First, cultural attitudes. Moving towards 1A discussion part, multinational companies can either attempt to use similar management methods in all their foreign subsidiaries or adapt their methods to the local culture in each country or continent. Which procedure do you think is the most efficient? Answer: according to my view, the most efficient for multinational company to adapt their methods to the local cultures in which their subsidiaries are situated. Next, do you think the culture of your country is similar enough to those of neighboring countries to have the same management techniques, or are there countries nearby where people have very different attitudes to work, hierarchy, organization, and so on? Answer: I think the culture of my country is different enough to those of neighboring countries to have the same management techniques. Now, moving toward 1B discussion part, a Dutch researcher, Fons Trompeter, and his associates have asked nearly 15,000 business people in over 50 countries a number of questions which reveal different cultural beliefs and attitudes to work. Here are five of them, adapted from riding the waves of culture. Understanding cultural diversity in business. They concern ways of working, individuals and groups, rules and personal friendship, and so on. What are your answer to the questions? Question number 1. If you had to choose, would you say that a company is a system designed to perform functions and tasks in an efficient way using machines and people, or a group of people whose functioning depend on social relation and the way people work together? Answer: this question perhaps boils down to whether people or the function they occupy the most important. Are people all replaceable, or does the quality or success of a business depend on its staff? For example, what is more important in a business school? The syllabus, that is math, accounting, management, marketing, finance, production, law, information system, etc., or the people who teach these subjects? If it is the former, what makes the difference between better and worse business schools? Now, moving toward the second question, what is the main reason for having an organizational structure in a company? So that everyone knows who has authority over whom, or so that everyone knows how functions are allocated and coordinated? Answer: the main reason for having an organizational structure in a company so that everyone knows how functions are allocated and coordinated is organizational structure divide companies into various teams or branches. They are helping to ensure that all tasks and responsibilities specific to those divisions are met more easily. And when there will be organizational structure in a company, then the employee are able to operate quickly and more efficiently. 3. Will the quality of individual life improve if he or she has much freedom as possible and the maximum opportunity to develop personally or the quality of life for everyone improve. If individuals are continuously taking care of their fellow human beings, even if this limits individual freedom and development. Answer. No, the quality of an individual's life will not improve if he or she has as much freedom as possible and the maximum opportunity to develop personally rather than quality of life for everyone will improve if individuals are continuously taking uh, care of their fellow human beings even if this limits individual freedom and development. 4. A defect is discovered in a production facility. It was caused by negligence by one of the member of the team. Would you say that the person causing the defect by negligence is the one responsible, or because he or she is working in a team, the responsibility should be carried by the whole group? Answer. As a defect is discovered in a production facility, it was caused by negligence by one of the members of a team. I would say that the person causing the defect by negligence is because he or she is working in a team. The responsibility should be carried by the whole group. 5. Imagine that you are a passenger in a car driven by a close friend who hits and quite seriously injures a pedestrian while driving at least 25 kilometers an hour too fast in a town. There are no other witnesses. Your friend lawyer says that it will help him a lot if you testify that he was driving within the speed limit. Should your friend expect you to do this? Answer. Most northern European countries, along with the Canada and Australia, scored over 90% for thinking that a friend should not expect you to lie. The lowest score here was 26% for the South Korea. Russia was on 42% and Japan on 67%. Now moving toward to managing multinational part 2A discussion. What multinational could the manager below typically be? I want to get this contract signed fast and get the plane home. American. B. If I go on selling like this, I will earn more than the boss. I can't let that happen. Italian. C. What an awful idea, reporting to two different bosses. Letting or specifically French. D. He looks much too young to be doing a major deal like this. Answer. Asian or Southern European or Latin American. E. There is no hurry. Tonight you can come and eat at my house and tomorrow we will play our golf. Asian or Southern European or Latin American. Now moving to our to be reading part of commerce and to see comprehension part. Question 1. How would you explain the concept of globalization? Globalization. Globalization means operating all over the world while taking account of local cultural habits, beliefs, and principles in each country or market. Globalization is the word used to describe the growing interdependence of the world's economies, cultures, and population brought by cross border trade in goods and services, technology and flow of investment, people and information. Globalization is the spread of products, technology, information, and jobs across national border and cultures. Globalization is the process by which ideas, knowledge, information, goods, and services spread around the world. Question number 2. Why might a 50 years old Japanese manager be offended if he had to negotiate with or report to a well educated but inexperienced 30 years old American? Japanese companies have a policy of promotion by seniority, so a 50 years old manager should automatically be granted much more status and respect than a 30 years old one. 3. Why was the American concept of pay for performance unpopular in Italy and in Asia in Trumpeters example? Answer. The Italian salesman did not want to earn more, that is, show himself to be a better salesman than his colleague or earn as much as his boss. The Singaporean and Indonesian managers did not approve of a system that might cause salesmen to encourage customers to buy products they did not need. Now moving to our fourth question, why do you sorry why do universalists disapprove of particularists and vice versa? Universalist believes that rules are extremely important and distrust particularists because they breaks the rules to help their friends, while particularist believes that the personal relationships should take precedence and distrust universalist because they want even help a friend. Now moving to a vocabulary part, find the words in the text which mean the following. 1. The use of reasoning rather than emotion or beliefs. Rationality. 2. Understanding or knowing without consciously using reason. Institution. 3. Respect, prestige, or importance given to someone. Status. 4. Having a higher rank because one is older. Seniority. 5. To have hot feeling because someone is being disrespectful. Offended or to be offended. 6. Money or something else given in recognition of a good work. Reward. Additional money given for better work or increased productivity. Bonus. A feeling of shame and loss of dignity or self-esteem. Humiliation. To give up to give up a job or a position. To resign. According to accepted moral standards. Ethically. Moving toward 3 exercise, you and your culture. 3a discussion part, you and your influences. 1. Which of the following do you think have been the most important influences on you? Do you think the same is true of the most people? Nature, your genes or DNA, the characteristics you inherited from your parents and were born with, your emotional and physical makeup. Your family environment in early life. Your friends and social life, the things you do in your free time. Primary or secondary school teachers and what do you learn? Higher education, college, universities, teachers, college you, the subject you studied or are studying. Your job, the culture of your particular company. Your college you, the people in your team or department. Your college you, the kind of people who work in your specific area of work. The characteristics that are considered typical of people from your geographical region. The characteristics that are considered typical of people from your country arising from geographical climate, history, religion, the political, social, and economic system, and so on. Answer: no, I don't think the same is true of most people. And the next question is: do you believe that it is the possible to sum up the national characteristics in a few words? Is there usually some or a lot of truth in such stereotypes, or on the contrary, do you find such stereotyping danger? Answer: no, I don't believe that it is the possible to sum up national characteristics in a few words. Now moving toward the 3D discussion part, corporate culture. In your company or in your country in general, it is acceptable to so that you are emotionally involved in your work. Yes. Make eye contact with hierarchical supervisors. Yes. Wear fairly casual clothes to work. No. Make jokes in meetings. No. Disagree with superiors in meetings. No. Occasionally arrive late for work or meeting. No. Socialize with superiors and or subordinates. Yes. Now moving to our 3E discussion part, that is body language. In your country or culture, is it considered acceptable to gesture? Make hands and arms movements while you talk. Yes. Move very close to someone as you talk to them. No. Touch someone in the arms as you speak to them. No. Below your nose in public. Blow your nose in public. No. Look at someone in the eyes for a long time while talking to them. Yes. Look to someone in the eyes for a long time while they are talking to you. Yes. Laugh loudly at work and in meetings. No. Now moving to our 3 of discussion part, going abroad. Do you read a guidebook before going to a foreign country, especially one where you don't speak the language? Answer: yes, I read a guidebook before going to foreign country, especially one where we don't speak the language. Learners who have traveled might have things to say here. I thought my own nervousness about buying tickets on public transport was a personal pathology until I went to conference and saw famous professor walking 3 miles to the venue because they were too frightened on the buses and trams. Do you have to leave a trip in this country? Is also a standard to pick of conversation at conferences. Okay, our second question is: are there specific things that you worry about which it would be useful to have information about before you go? Example: how you get into town from the airport, Do you pay the bus driver, or is there a ticket machine on the bus or at the bus stop? Do you leave a trip in restaurants, etc.? Yes, there are specific things you worry about which it would be useful to have information about before I go to abroad. Some of them are how I get into town from the airport. Do I pay the bus driver, or is there a ticket machine on the bus or at the bus stop? Do I leave a tip in restaurants, etc.? Thank you. Now, chapter 5 we will be discussing in the next video. Chapter 6 recruitment we will be discussing in next part. So for today, thank you so much.